We're going to have a busy night, so we want to make sure we get started on time. The meeting is called to order. This public hearing is called to order. Would the secretary please call the roll?
Mr. Nichols?
Here.
Ms. Pickens?
She's excused due to travel.
Ms. Sheridan?
Here.
Mr. Spagel?
Here.
Mr. Titus?
Here.
Ms. Cooley?
Ms. Cooley said she'd be here, but she must be running late.
Ms. Feeney?
Here.
Mr. Harkins?
Here.
Mrs. McNair?
She left no response with the secretary's office when asked if she'd attend. The next item we have is the purpose of the hearing, and Mr. Polito, our superintendent, will state that.
Well, good evening. The purpose of this hearing tonight, it was initially to recommend to the school board a third-party custodial service provider if the board ultimately chose to outsource those services. However, it quickly became apparent that our timeline was too short to make a decision, and we would need more time to evaluate the proposals. In order to do that, we would ask that the board recess this hearing following the public comment period tonight and reconvene it when a recommendation is finalized. And to give you an update on where we are in the process, due to the complexity of the proposals, we did ask the facilities experts at Public Financial Management to review the proposals and provide us with an analysis. We received that report yesterday, and we'll be using it along with our evaluation committee as a starting point to evaluate both of the proposals. At this point, we do not anticipate needing more than 3 weeks to finalize our recommendation.
And Mr. Superintendent, would you or the solicitor refer to how it was that we had to have this meeting kind of abruptly or quickly in advance of tonight's regular meeting, what the timeline on that was?
Mr. President, the Section 528 of the Pennsylvania School Code, which governs the outsourcing of services to third parties, required that a public hearing date be set and advertised at the same period that the RFPs were released by the district. It was at that point that the timeline was put together with the expectation that the administration would be able to make that recommendation this evening. However, due to the complexity of those proposals that were received, that is why this is being pushed back. So this date was selected many months ago, and due to the requirements of the statute. The statute also requires that the public hearing be held immediately, be held prior to a regularly scheduled board meeting, and that public comment be allowed to be taken as well.
That last sentence is what I wanted to have people understand. Okay, the next point we're at with the hearing is public comment. If any of the public in attendance wants to approach the podium and speak, you have a 3-minute time limit. You could state your name and print your name and address on the tablet provided and have 3 minutes to express any opinions. Are there any citizens that wish to address the board at this point? Last call? Okay. We're going to recess this hearing until some future date, but I'd like to give the public some idea of how long we intend that to be.
Mr. President, I indicated that we don't believe we need more than 3 weeks to bring a recommendation to the school board. That would coincide with our next regularly scheduled meeting, so we could look to schedule that hearing on February 12th at 5 p.m. to finalize the recommendation.
Except that when that night comes, if it's the night of a regular meeting, there won't be, I would anticipate there'd be more public comment and more interaction from the board, so I wouldn't want to crunch a regular meeting. We might want to consider having a separate time for that, a day or two away or whatever. But anyway, we can settle that, but you're anticipating you want to shoot for no more than 3 weeks from now?
Yes.
So sometime, and would sooner than that be rushing you to have a recommendation?
Yes, I would like at least 3 weeks for us to really
All right.
evaluate this.
Well, let it be known that our intention is to recess this hearing until, okay. Mr. Spiegel,
We do have a regular scheduled meeting on the 12th.
yes. I just didn't want to have a hearing where we'd have a lot of public comment and a lot of questions and comments by the board, and then have it crunch up against, which it's not going to do tonight, but I don't want it to happen then, is my concern. So as we get closer, we can make that more, we can make it official. But just, I'm satisfied if we can make it known that we intend to do it in 3 weeks or less. Okay, this public hearing is recessed until such time as it's reconvened within 3 weeks.